Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 14 of Season 2 of the F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Yesterday we're back for the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed it on the last video that went live from the Hungaroring, would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But yeah, today though, back at the circuit that I love the most. It's Spa-Francorchamps. I'm really looking forward to this one as well. Quickly, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for the insane and continued support on the channel as well. Of course, I know January has been incredibly slow, but we're getting back towards car reveals very soon, and then the real life 2023 season will be getting underway as well there. But we've got our own big championship battle going on. 4 points, the gap between ourselves and Max Verstappen, as we head towards Belgium this weekend. So a big opportunity to try and take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. We need to try and get a good result here. We need to try and continue building on the momentum that we've had over the last couple of weekends. And maybe, just maybe, we can knock Red Bull off their perch. We've got a new energy store upgrade as well that's come in successfully, so that's always good. But yeah, let's get into it though. Belgian Grand Prix time. Hopefully we can have another good result. Well, happy memories then here from Spa in seasons gone by. Of course, in the Haas Road to Glory, it was actually where I took my first pole position. I think not only in this series, but on this game outright. We managed to get one earlier in this campaign than we did in the My Team career mode. So maybe we can try and go back-to-back around the Belgian Grand Prix. There was lines like that in towards turn 1 are not going to do me any favours. Big old lock-up. But we'll get the power down on the exit. Trying to get a lap nailed around these 7 kilometres. As you wind your way through the Ardennes Forest is always good fun. As up through a Rouge and Radion, all nice and tidy first time through. There we go, Sergio Perez dips down into the 1:42s. That's a pretty good benchmark early on in the session, but it is going to be his teammate that we're interested to see what time he sets. 42.3 there from Max Verstappen as well. We rattle the car over the curb in through the final corner up towards the line. We are going to go just a tenth away, less than a tenth away from Verstappen there on a 42.4. It's a pretty good banker lap. We will get one more run at this though. Well, I'm really hoping our teammate Kevin Magnussen carried a lot of the momentum from the Hungarian Grand Prix into the summer break, and so far the signs are looking good then. P3 provisionally in qualifying just behind myself there, so it is both Red Bulls and both Haas cars at the front of the field, but everyone else coming towards the end of their final runs. Are we going to be able to go quicker than Max Verstappen? We don't need a lot more time, but we just need to make sure that we don't do anything crazy either. It's breaking down in towards turn 1 there. Flip the apex through La Source, trying to short shift back up on the exit, roll on the power nice and tidy, and already straight up into the green. Are we going to see either of those Red Bull cars improve and potentially open up the gap anymore? One of them's crossed the line, but they were stuck behind an Aston Martin. And the other one just heading up through the bus stop chicane now, as you can see. Still about half a tenth to a tenth up, coming to the end of Sector 1. Neither Red Bull car then is going to be able to improve or go quicker on the fastest lap time set by Max Verstappen as we wind our way through the Lacombe chicane at the top of the hill then. Just trying to get the car now down through turn 7. A horrible little hairpin. The track always wants to fall away from you through what used to be known as No Name. Now has apparently got a name, but I can't quite remember it off the top of my head. And in towards the infamous Pouon will go there. Sit here on the way in, a little bit cautious on the way through there. We know we don't have to find a lot of time go quicker than Verstappen, so it's all about trying to make sure we get the lap hooked up. Through Bruxelles we go on the Fagnes chicane. Again, try and open up the circuit nicely, but don't make any unnecessary errors there as we try and head through Stavolo. Nick the curb on the inside, but 2 tenths up as we head in towards the final couple of corners of this lap. Could we dip down towards the 141s? But will this be good enough? We only need half a tenth. Go quicker than Max Verstappen there, completely flat out, of course, through Blanchemont. Will we be able to nail the line there? No wheel spin out of the final couple of corners. That's going to absolutely be key there as we try and round our way. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. Final corner, I literally said, and we need to be careful of the wheel spin, and we've gone and thrown it away there. Gutted. Gutted. It's P2 on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix. I cannot believe that. Well, that's got to be our closest equivalent to Verstappen's Abu Dhabi bottle. Sorry, not Abu Dhabi. Saudi Arabia bottle from 2021. But it is the Dutchman that takes the pole then here in Spa. half a tenth clear of myself there. Kevin Magnussen, though, on the second row of the grid alongside Sergio Perez, so it is certainly Red Bull versus Haas this weekend. Let's get into it, though. It's Belgian Grand Prix time. Always the chance for some changeable conditions. This could get spicy.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher back in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Mr. Monaco completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Magnussen, Perez, Carlos Sainz, and Ricciardo, Hamilton, Russell, Albon, and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Norris, Charles Leclerc and Tsunoda, Bottas, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Belgian Grand Prix, and I think it's important that we put yesterday's mixed success behind us and focus on the task at hand. Looking at it though, there is the threat of rain later on in the afternoon, so we'll have to wait and see as to when that rolls in. Of course, based on previous races, it can be a bit inconsistent. It reckons it's going to rain in the final, 2/7 of the Grand Prix, so that should be from about lap 16. When do we actually think the rain is going to arrive? Let me know down in the comments below. But we've got our championship rival alongside us on the front row. 4 points the gap between us heading into this weekend, remember. This and Zandvoort next weekend have got to be 2 big races for us to really try and get into Max Verstappen's head, of course. If we can win what are 2 effectively of his home Grand Prix, I know Zandvoort is actually his home Grand Prix, that could have massive championship repercussions. Right, we're rounding out the final couple of corners then. It's not often we get the top 2 in the championship lining up on the front row of the grid in any of our career modes, to be honest. George Russell, of course we know, just apart from Suzuka last time round, has not been a good qualifier in the My Team series. And yeah, Max and I have often had our own issues. Of course, last weekend both started way out of position at the Hungaro ring, but yeah, we've got Magnussen as well starting on the soft, so it is going to be interesting to see how he's going to get involved early on in this GP, but waiting in on Zhou Guanyu at the rear of the field. Let's do this thing then. Belgian Grand Prix, 5 red lights here at the best track in Formula 1, and it's lights out, and away we go as Magnussen already coming straight over towards me there, down in towards turn 1, as we get a big lock up there, just run into the back of Sergio Perez there, somehow avoid getting any damage from that one, but yeah, not the ideal start that we would have wanted here at the Belgian Grand Prix, but through goes Magnussen at the front of the field there. So Kevin from P3 straight up into the lead here at the Belgian Grand Prix circuit there. That is a monumental start to this race. As you can see now, Sainz and I battling out. Verstappen pulls back to the outside of our teammate there as we're going to try and get at the inside of Carlos Sainz there. Big brave dive bomb down in towards the Lecombe chicane there, but through goes Magnussen to the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix there straight off the start. So one Red Bull, losing a place, the other one gaining one, and the same can be said for the Haas cars as well, but we are still both Red Bulls and both Haas cars at the front of the field, and as we head down the hill on this opener lap, Alex Albon suddenly somehow up into P5 of this Grand Prix, so not too sure how he's managed that at the start, but clearly a very good start by him. But Kevin Magnussen, he needed to try and take the lead on the opening lap of this Grand Prix, of course, like we said, starting on those soft compound tyres. But what is the strategy going to be for our team? I mean, if the rain comes early, it could be a big gamble for him, but if he's trying to two-stop, that's going to be a disaster. If, however, he's then trying to go to hard tyres to the end, might not be such a bad call from our Danish teammate, of course. Took his first ever win in Formula 1 last weekend, so maybe that's pumped him up with confidence as we head into the second half of the season there, as he winds his way through the final couple of corners. Max Verstappen still in hot pursuit behind him as we round our way through the bus stop. Make sure I don't do what I did in qualifying. Nice and easy that time round. We've got to try and move back past Checo, as Kevin Magnussen's second weekend in a row is going to be leading the way. As to the inside of Perez will go. And that is an audacious dive bomb, but it was a clean dive bomb, and we are now through. Kevin Magnussen, if he wanted those soft tyres to work for him, probably needs to be out of the DRS range by the end of lap 2. And that is definitely not going to be the case there as we wind our way through the final couple of turns. Verstappen still right behind him. You know, maybe if myself and the Dutchman get locked into battle as new fastest lap of the day for ourselves, onto a 45.2. Sorry, 45.4 even, as we start lap 3. Yeah, maybe if we can battle Verstappen, K-Mag might be able to build up a bit more of a lead, but you know, I think the Dutchman as well, we know how quick that Red Bull car can be on F122. He might have the legs as we head up Le Combe. Just wait and see, and up the Kemmel straight. It's Checo dropping back quite badly actually already in this Grand Prix, so it might be both Haas cars against the singular Red Bull. But yeah, K-Mag's still hanging on, but we are definitely applying some pressure to Max Verstappen. As you can see how hard he's making that Red Bull work. Kicks at the back end, so we head down the hill. Starting that 4 though, big run this time round on the Dutchman as we head out onto the Kemmel straight once again. Are we now going to be able to try and make it a Haas 1-2 in this Grand Prix? A bit like buses, we get one and another one could come along straight after there as well. Verstappen very late though on the brakes in towards the chicane there. Clearly does not want to lose the place without a fight, as last time round it was the Dutchman kicking the back end out through there. This time round we just bottomed out and the car skated around underneath us. Lucky to hang on to it. Verstappen is not able to apply more pressure to Kevin Magnussen early on in this Grand Prix, but we are getting closer and closer to the Dutchman. This time round it's going to sit a bit defensive in towards the final chicane there again though, locking up slightly as Kevin Magnussen into the pits already at just the end of lap 5. So what strategy is our teammate going to be rolling the dice on? It now of course as well means Verstappen won't have any DRS up the Kemmel straight, so he might be in the lead momentarily, as long as we don't get a horrendous run at the first corner, which we don't. Actually able to gather it up quite nicely. Surely now the Dutchman is going to be a sitting duck by the time we get up onto the straight there, just to make sure to keep it between the white lines, don't gain any unfair advantage. Slowly gaining on the car in front, but more than slowly gaining on him. Look at this, side by side with our championship rival Max Verstappen, but nothing the Dutchman can do there, and we swoop through into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix there. Haas pretty much led this race from the start, and once Kevin Magnussen was into the pits, we try and jump up and hold the station there, as unfortunately looks like K-Mag's come out in a lot of back marker traffic, so that strategy might now be in the bin. But it's still early days. There's still the threat of rain of course later on in the afternoon. Let's just see. Oi, big wobble there as we try and head through the Fanya chicane once again. That's going to bring Verstappen a whole lot closer. Start losing tie grip. We lost all of it for just a second there, Mark. I don't know what you've been watching, mate, but getting towards 1/3 distance. Have we got any update on the weather? Let's wait and see. Okay, so team don't believe that we're going to see any rain for any time for a little while at least, but this is Spa. The rain can roll in incredibly quickly around this circuit. It's trying to make sure that, yeah, now as we approach the pit window, Checo Perez just getting a bit closer again. Do not want it now to suddenly be 2 Red Bulls versus 1 Haas car in this Grand Prix. Looks like K-Mag has been navigating those slower cars quite tidily. So, you know, he's certainly not out of this. You know, we might come out and have to go on a bit of a chase towards our teammate, a bit like the Hungarian Grand Prix last weekend, but we're still only on that 8 of 22. We've just got to try and keep doing what we're doing, and as well, most importantly, even if K-Mag beats us, as long as we beat Max Verstappen again, that's got to be the big goal. Right, team want us in though at the end of this lap, as we've just been trying to see if we can pull away from Verstappen slightly over these last couple there, as it looks like Magnussen has got a bit stuck behind, I think it's Charles Leclerc, and I don't know which Alpha Tauri. I'll be more inclined to believe it's Yuki Tsunoda, because I think Gasly is a bit further up the road. No, it might actually be Pierre. I don't know. But yeah, Max Verstappen is still floating around 3/4 of a second back. And there we go. So rain is expected, but it's going to be really late on in the day. Could come with about lap 16 like originally predicted. Could come as late as sort of lap 20 then. Could we get a repeat of the My Team career mode a couple of weeks ago? But we have to take the gamble right at the very end of the afternoon. And, well, that one didn't quite work out in my favour. As all we got Ferrari off. I think that was Charles Leclerc. They're just running a bit wide. Could be late on in the day that we have to make a gamble over onto intermediates. This could end up being championship defining as we head into the second half of the year. So a little bit of a lock up there in towards the bus stop. That is very, very wide on pit entry. Looks like Perez, of course, has got to stay out one more. Of course, the Red Bull's on the same strap. But where are we going to come out then relative to Kevin Magnussen? As he's trying to make a move, actually, on one of the Alpha Towers. They're up to Blanchimont. We know the Dane, of course, very, very brave behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car. It takes a lot to scare K-Mag in general, I feel. The Viking energy is strong with him, but green light there as we head back out of the pit lane. We are going to be ahead of Verstappen, and it looks like we're going to be ahead of Magnussen as well. Of course, cold tyres on pit exit, but there is Kevin a little way further back, so we might get back within the DRS range of us. Of course, as we just try and work up these tyre temperatures. Always scary through a rouge. You never quite know how much you should commit off the pit out lap, but here comes Verstappen though around the outside. Of course, he's going to have the DRS. And the Dutchman's going to swoop back through then into the net lead of the Grand Prix there. A little bit earlier on the brakes than I was expecting. But this battle is still not over. Verstappen has absolutely been able to fire those hard tyres up a lot better than I've been able to on this out lap. But luckily, he's not quite going to be able to get away there. This thing is still absolutely unstoppable in a straight line when you're using the battery. So we are going to hang close to the Dutchman. Where is Checo going to come out in comparison to all this? Of course, we should be back 1-2. In this Grand Prix, but has Sergio Perez been able to potentially get closer? Might be a battle between him and Kevin towards the end of this Grand Prix there as we head back out in towards La Source. There is Checo Perez. He's going to come out behind myself. What Haas driver's just completed that pass for the lead? What is Mark smoking? As now it is back to the four of us once more, covered by about 1.5 seconds. This race could still definitely get spicy. Red Bull versus Haas. But I think the first time this year that it's all four cars involved in the scrap. So we have a look again to the outside. Whoa! Of Max Verstappen there, who's just going to completely cut me off the corner there. Very, very aggressive move there from the Dutchman. Now Sergio Perez is going to try and get through as well. And Kevin Magnussen just waiting in the wings. Has Perez just been told, chuck it, make sure you get in front of him as soon as possible here, as now Max Verstappen is going to try and pull out a lead at the front of the field, but surely that should be a penalty for the Dutchman. Just never tried to turn into the corner. I've just noticed as well, Kevin Magnussen is actually on a set of mediums, so I think our teammate is two-stopping, and that's not reassuring because he's going to have a very, very long afternoon trying to fight his way back up through there, so does not do us any favours in, well, is hopefully trying to help me out, and also, of course, in the Constructors' Championship. What on earth I was thinking with the second car this weekend, unless somehow he can stay out until the intermediates might have to be used towards the end of this race. But Verstappen, absolutely crazy in that Red Bull car. They're way too aggressive at the top of the hill, but hopefully now, as we start lap 13, might be able to try and pull up a move on the Dutchman as we wind our way back into a Rouge and Rally on. Once again, they're getting back on the ERS as early as we possibly can. They're opening up the DRS as well, the rear wing wide open as we head up the Kemmel Straight once more. But through goes Matt into the lead of the Grand Prix there. It's not quite Sebastian Vettel levels of iconic, but back through once more. And Verstappen, I'm not going to take that sort of driving lying down. Oh, there we go. Magnussen back into the pit lane as we're going to set a new fastest lap of the day, starting lap 14. But K-Mag's going to re-emerge way down the order in this Grand Prix, though I can't quite believe what the team have been trying to do today. Is Alex Albon now up into P4 then this Grand Prix. It is me, followed by at least 4 either current or previous ex-Ferrari drivers. So I think it's 5, because Carlos Sainz there is sat in 6th place as well. So it is me versus all of the former or current Red Bull men on this field, apart from Pierre Gasly, I think is a bit further back down the rostrum. Well, I was just looking at the timings between myself and Verstappen as we went in towards turn 1, and unfortunately by doing that, completely missed my braking point there. Thought we might now be able to get the gap over 1 second, but there's no chance that's going to happen this time through. So we'll head back over the top there to take a bit more curve that time round than I'd really wanted to, but Red Bull, yeah, definitely running a bit too much downforce this weekend. You can see Verstappen, though, will start gaining as we get towards the end of the Kemmel Straight. Oh, he's going to look for it again there. Have to jump out the way of the Dutchman. Second time today, the car's completely bottomed out on me. That is scary every single time. Right, okay, so team's still saying the rain is going to arrive at some point, but now they're not sure whether it's going to happen during or after the Grand Prix. Probably only got 10 more minutes of racing. That's an ominous cloud down at the bottom of the hill, but yeah, it's still up in arms at the moment. It could be another Belgian Grand Prix, a bit like Spa 2008. But gaining on Verstappen once more. Are we going to get close enough to the Dutchman to have a look for a move in towards the bus stop? We're going to try and open up a run to the inside there. Oh, there is contact between us as we try to bail out of it. It's Checo Perez now going to get involved as we get a warning for a collision with the Dutchman. I'm far too aggressive, but so has he been earlier on this afternoon, as again we'll try and slip down the inside at turn 1. Try and make sure we give him the room on the X there and put the power down. Side by side then with Max Verstappen we go. Want to make sure that we're the one with the DRS, but side by side with our championship rival into a Rouge and Radion there. We just about give each other room. We're still side by side on the exit of the corner there. Here comes Sergio Perez. No, he's not. Verstappen is going to shut the door on his teammate there, and now Checo. They're both going to try and battle for the DRS behind us, side by side. In towards the chicane they go. Verstappen will be absolutely fuming over the radio about that one. We got yellow flags out. One of the McLarens further back appears to be breaking down in this Grand Prix. That's got to be Lando Norris, and Red Bull might just have tricked themselves over, because suddenly we have got another opportunity to try and open up a 1 second gap. Oh, Lance Stroll now as well out of the Grand Prix. What's the Canadian done? Look then, Lance Stroll as he heads up in towards Blanchimont there. I think that's going to be our second Mercedes power unit failure in the space of a lap, as the Canadian doesn't seem to be any smoke. As the car just switched off, he's going to bail out then in towards Blanchimont and park it up nicely, staring at the Pirelli tyre barriers. But one Aston Martin out, and the other one way down the roster. Oh, safety car. Okay. Very, very late on in the day, though. Looks like the other Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel has retired from this Grand Prix. So what on earth's happened to the German? But this could give the rain a chance to sneak in onto the venue. 5 laps worth of fuel, 4 laps worth of racing. Could this change things up late on in the day? We were trying to pull out a gap over Max Verstappen, but it is only going to be a very, very short safety car here. No, Seb hasn't even retired. He was just each span, and now we've got a safety car. Well, let's see then. How did Sebastian Vettel bring out the safety car in this Grand Prix? Obviously, Lance Stroll just retired from the GP this afternoon. Seb there, oh, just takes a bit too much curb on the inside. Does actually lose the front wing there and wallop the wall. Lucky that he's not out of the GP. But Sebastian Vettel, that's why we've got a safety car. That does make sense. Here we go. 2 laps left at the Belgian Grand Prix. And the rain has now started to arrive. We have just got to try and pace ourselves late on. And this is going to be a real step into the unknown, of course. Let's wait and see then. Make sure that we control the pace out the final couple of turns. But this is scary, scary stuff from the Belgian Grand Prix. One small slip-up can really cost us a lot there, as we won't go straight out of the final corner. We will just slowly build it back up, and it will be green flag racing then once more. 2 laps to go. It might now be a case of trying to survive on the island there as we head through turn 1. Again, of course, like I said, just testing out the grip levels, seeing where the pace lies. And look at Verstappen immediately trying to apply some pressure as we head down in towards Eau Rouge and Radion once more. This time around, we're going to try and get our elbows out a bit small with the Dutchman. But look at Perez trying to go around the other side there. Red Bull are trying to box us in. It's like watching police interceptors, the pincer movement they're trying to pull off at the moment. Even Alex Albon trying to potentially get involved in this one as well. It all gets very, very close for comfort at the top of the hill, but we have got to try and really defend from Verstappen there. But no, he forces me out wide. Checo will sneak by. Albon's surely going to try and look for it as well. Yes, he is. Alex Albon there, so we have to break out of the way there in towards the corner. And now suddenly, as we see the DRS now has been disabled as well. This is the problem with F122. When it gets slippery like this, ridiculous advantage over the human player there, because they, of course, have just got built-in traction control that we can't do anything about. Had we known the rain was going to start falling this badly, this quickly, it might have been worth trying to pit at the end of the next lap from the lead there and just trying to fight our way back through the field. But surely with one lap left of this Grand Prix, it's not going to be worth it. DRS has been disabled, so clearly the game believes that it is going to get wetter and wetter towards the end of this Grand Prix. But I think we've just got to try and stay out on the island at the moment, haven't we? One more lap to go with the Belgian Grand Prix, and it has been absolutely robbed away from us there. Blanchimont is still basic... Sorry, yeah, no, it is Blanchimont. They're basically still flat out, but I cannot believe this late on in the day. Oi, don't do what we did in qualifying as well then. Look at the grip the AI've got. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo out of the final corner. We're just going to have to try and defend P4 for all our worth there. Albon and Alpine are going to get a very, very well-deserved podium. There is... I cannot believe that. I cannot believe it. In the space of a lap. In the space of just one lap, we have gone from leading the Belgian Grand Prix to it over. Done. Just one little blip too early on the throttle there. This is what I meant about the AI. They've just got OP traction in these conditions. Max Verstappen now is going to open up a 29-point lead at the top of the table. We should have boxed for Inters. At least then we might stood a chance against the AI, but I cannot believe it's all come undone right at the end. Just like qualifying, we bottled it at the final hurdle. So frustrating. You just lose places. You just sink down the order like a stone. And you just want to try and keep up with anyone you possibly can there. No, I've done what Giovinazzi did a couple of years ago. I've now hit the curb as well. Verstappen is going to take the win at the Belgian Grand Prix there. He didn't lead much this afternoon, but he led the laps that really did matter. Perez is going to make it a Red Bull 1-2. And I cannot believe it has all gone this badly wrong for us right at the end of the Grand Prix. Mark, I don't care about that. I could not care less about how much fuel we've got left in the car. It has absolutely been stolen away from us at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. F122 does not want me to win, and like I said, had I known, we should have probably boxed Rinters off the safety car and just tried to fight our way back through the field there. But in towards the final few corners, we are still going to try and make it to the checkered flag in the Belgian Grand Prix. We've got no grip though, no front wing either. We're going to pick up a 3-second time penalty. That basically just sums it up as well, doesn't it? But come on, get to the line, please. That is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A difficult race then on one of the all-time classic circuits, but they persevered to take the... Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, it's got to be Kevin Magnussen. He displayed exceptional skill out on the track today and wasn't afraid to fight his way through the pack.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we go then, the end of the Dutch Grand Prix. Max Verstappen takes home the win ahead of Sergio Perez there and former Red Bull driver Alex Albon in P3. Certainly did them a favour with that dive bomb on myself down at the hairpin there. Ricciardo P4 ahead of Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Magnussen recovers to 8th ahead of Ocon and Leclerc, and P18 in the end. We did take fastest lap, which stopped Verstappen gaining 1 extra point, but so heartbroken with that result come the checkered flag there. Championship-wise, 29-point lead now at the top of the table. Checo Perez is closer to me than I am to Verstappen there. Sainz re-jumps Magnussen as well a bit further down, so really not the weekend for either of the Haas cars there. And constructors-wise, luckily we have still got a bit of a lead over Ferrari there, but any slim hopes we had at the constructors is well and truly gone out of the window this weekend. But we've got to come back swinging. You know, we can't give up on the championship just yet. We will return very soon out to the Dutch Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, of course, his home Grand Prix, but it was the race we won last season. Let's wait and see what we can do there. Thank you all so much for watching nonetheless, and we will be back very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.